So, have you ever caught snippets of a conversation? Maybe something a little juicy, a bit out there.
Yeah, and you wish you could, really get what was being said.
Exactly. Or maybe you've seen something truly, I don't know, head-scratching.
And then struggled to find the right English words to describe just how bizarre it was.
Well, you've definitely tuned into the right place today.
Welcome.
We're plunging into, the real nitty-gritty of everyday English conversations.
And we're really zeroing in on gossiping.
Right. And describing those, wonderfully weird moments life throws at us.
It's really about getting comfortable with that lively, informal English, the kind native speakers actually use.
Yeah, the stuff that's often missing from the textbooks.
Exactly.
And that's the big benefit for you listening today. We're going to equip you with some key vocabulary, Yeah,
practical tips, insights into, cultural stuff, too.
It's all about sharpening your fluency, really, and helping you connect better with English speakers.
And our exploration today, it's based on material that really looks at how people talk day to day.
We've got examples, right? How people share news, give opinions.
And how they react to things that seem just a little off.
Think neighborhood gossip.
And descriptions of things that are just plain odd.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. Before we dive into a, let's say, revealing chat, let's touch on a couple of key terms first. First up, weird. We all kind of know what it means, but...
Right, but what are the nuances? Weird is, it's super flexible.
Okay.
It can mean slightly unusual, or it can mean really quite unsettling.
Right.
And interestingly, what one person thinks is weird, it often says something about their own background, their cultural norms.
I never really thought of it like that.
Yeah, calling something weird can be a way to, subtly reinforce those norms in a group.
Interesting.
And the intensity varies, too. You can have a bit weird.
Yeah, really weird.
Yeah.
Exactly. What's fascinating about the cultural norms, like a little social signal. Okay, the other phrase, housewarming gift. What's the deal with that?
Yes. A housewarming gift. It's a pretty common custom in, many English-speaking places.
Just a present for moving in?
Well, yes, it's a present for someone who's just moved. But it's often seen as more than that, like an initial social offering. Yeah, like signaling you want to be part of the community. It could be practical stuff for the house or, something decorative.
So it's kind of like a social handshake with the new neighbor.
Precisely. And if someone doesn't bring one...
that might get noticed, right?
Yeah.
Get people talking.
Exactly. And in the conversation we're about to look at, the fact that the new neighbor doesn't bring a gift, that's actually one of the first little signs that something might be, off.
A small detail, but it adds to the picture.
Sparks that curiosity.
Okay, this is where it gets juicy. The heart of our discussion today is this snippet of conversation. Two neighbors, Sarah and Emily.
Picture them, leaning over the garden fence.
Yeah, doing some classic neighborhood gossiping about the new guy, Armand, who seems a bit mysterious.
And this chat is just gold for seeing how people use informal English, how they share info, opinions, react to weird stuff.
Pay attention, everyone, to the words they use and how they, show their feelings.
Let's listen in. Armin, the one who moved in last week. What's the scoop? Fill me in.
Well, first off, did you notice he didn't bring a housewarming gift to anyone on the street? Not a single thing. It's just weird, don't you think?
That is a bit odd, now that you mention it. Usually people bring a little something when they first move in. Even if it's just a plant or some cookies, it's just the polite thing to do.
Exactly. But that's just the start of it. Yesterday, I saw him in his garden at 6 a.m, just staring at our houses, not doing anything, just staring. It gave me a bad feeling, I tell you. It was like a prickle on the back of my neck, even though nothing concrete had happened.
Staring. That's a little unsettling. Maybe he was just admiring the gardens.
Admiring? For a good 10 minutes. Without moving. It was weird, Emily. Really weird. And then, later that day, you know how Mrs. Henderson's cat, Whiskers, sometimes wanders into our gardens?
Yes, the fluffy gray one.
Well, I saw Armin pick him up. Gently. I'll give him that. But then he just held him. For ages. Whiskers looked terrified, trying to wriggle free. It totally creeped me out.
Oh, that's strange. Did he say anything?
Not a word. He just put Whiskers down eventually, and the poor thing bolted. Mrs. Henderson was furious later, said Whiskers was acting all jumpy and wouldn't come near her for hours.
Wow, that is weird. Maybe he's just not used to cats.
Maybe. But then, last night, this is the bit that really scared the heck out of me. I was taking the dog out for his light walk around 11, and I saw a light on in Armin's basement window.
Okay. Basements are normal.
Yes, but the light was flickering, and I could hear this chanting sound, low and rhythmic. It was really unsettling. I hurried back inside. I didn't want to stick around to see what was going on down there.
Chanting at 11 at night. That's definitely weird. Have you spoken to anyone else about this?
Not yet. You're the first. I wanted to see if I was just overreacting, but hearing myself say it out loud, how it sounds so strange.
No, Sarah, it does sound strange.
Yeah.
We need to keep an eye on this Armand. There's definitely something off about him.
Wow. You can really hear them building that picture, can't you? Piece by piece.
Mm-hmm. And using weird as this sort of anchor for their unease.
Yeah. And Sarah uses some really strong phrases there to get her feelings across.
Absolutely. Let's dig into 3 of those. The ones that really pack a punch emotionally. Bad feeling creeped me out. Scared the heck out of me.
Right. Those gut reaction phrases. Let's start with bad feeling. She said the staring gave me a bad feeling. What does that mean exactly? More than just uneasy.
Yeah, a bad feeling is that gut instinct, that sense something isn't right, maybe trouble's coming.
Ah, okay.
It's often not based on solid proof, more like this vague worry, your internal alarm going off quietly.
Like a primal instinct kicking in? Makes sense. Now, Armin holding the cat, she said that totally creeped me out. What's the nuance there? Creeped out versus scared.
Good question. To creep someone out makes you feel uneasy, nervous, maybe a bit scared, but it's often about behavior that's just off. Strange, unsettling, maybe a bit sinister.
Right.
It's usually less intense than real fear,
right,
but it definitely makes you want to, keep your distance.
Like that silent, long holding of the cat definitely raises alarm bells.
For sure. And then the chanting really scared the heck out of me. That sounds much stronger.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Scared the heck out of someone is very emphatic. It means intensely frightened. Heck is just a mild way to boost it, but it really underlines the fear level.
Hearing chanting late at night, yeah, that would do it for most people.
Right.
So we have bad feeling, that first gut instinct, creeped me out, unsettling, strange behavior, and scared the heck out of me. Genuine, intense fear.
Exactly. Really useful distinctions to understand.
And these kinds of idioms, they're just key to sounding more natural in English, aren't they?
Totally. Makes you sound much more expressive.
No, if you're listening and thinking, okay, I see how they describe it, but how do I start a conversation like that? Or react naturally?
Yes. Our sources had some great stuff on that. The fluency builder bit.
Right. Natural phrases for gossiping, like go-to lines.
Exactly. Go-to lines for sharing news or reacting.
Okay, give us some examples. How could Sarah have kicked off that chat, maybe more casually?
Well, she could have started with something like, I don't know if you've heard.
Oh,
and it's quite polite, doesn't assume Emily knows. It kind of opens the door for Emily to say, no, what? Or,
tell me more. Yeah, that's a gentle way in. And Emily's reaction, she actually said, fill me in later, which is pretty direct.
It is, and very common. You have to fill me in. Shows you're really keen to hear the details.
Any others for asking for more?
Yeah, another good one, especially for building suspense, is, well, you'll never guess what I saw.
Ooh, I like that one. It really pulls you in.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And reacting. Emily said, that's so weird.
Yeah.
Pretty standard, right?
Yeah.
But super versatile. You can swap, in other words, that's so strange, that's so creepy, that's so shocking, depending on the news.
Good point. And showing disbelief.
Oh, classics like, are you serious? Or maybe even stronger, you're kidding me.
Right. Okay. These are great. And if you're the one listening, how do you keep them talking? Get more info.
Simple stuff, really. Just asking what happened next, and then what?
Or even just tell me more.
Exactly. Shows you're engaged, you're interested, keeps it flowing.
So getting the hang of these little conversational bits and pieces can really make a difference.
Huge difference. Makes you sound much more natural when you're, sharing stories or recounting something strange.
It's about using the language people actually use.
Mm-hmm. Every day.
Now, speaking of strange, our sources also had this rather unsettling story.
Yeah, another example of how we talk about things that make us uneasy. Not our mammon this time, but a past neighbor.
Right, a story someone shared, kind of like neighborhood lore.
Exactly. A sort of cautionary tale, maybe, about trusting those gut feelings you get about people. It was about a Mr. Henderson and his wife, Martha, who disappeared.
Okay, sounds ominous. What were the unsettling details there?
Well, classic stuff. Always had the curtains drawn. Never any visitors. Then, poof, Martha vanishes. His explanation felt off. gave people that bad feeling we talked about.
Ah, the bad feeling again.
Yep. And there was gossip, whispers about arguments. Then the narrator actually saw him digging in the garden late one night.
Oh, wow.
Which, as you can guess, totally creeped them out.
I bet.
Police got involved, but Martha was never found. And then Mr. Henderson just suddenly moved away.
Which scared the heck out of everyone.
You got it. Left everyone with a lot of unanswered questions about Martha.
Jeez. It really does show how those little weird things can sometimes add up or maybe point to something darker, and the importance of trusting that intuition.
Absolutely. It just adds another layer to how we talk about these deeply uneasy situations and the feelings they bring up.
Now, all this talk about informal chats, picking up cues, it leads to a big question for you, the listener.
Right. How do you actually get better at understanding native speakers when they're not using perfect textbook English?
Which is most of the time, let's be honest.
Pretty much. It's a crucial skill. And one big thing is context. Really pay attention to the situation, the other words being used.
So the clues are often right there in the conversation itself.
Often, yes. They can help you figure out unfamiliar words or phrases. Also, tone of voice.
Ah, yeah. Huge.
And body language. If you can see the person, are they joking? Serious? Worried? It adds so much meaning.
And if you're still lost?
Don't be afraid to ask. Seriously. Just say, sorry, what did you mean by that? Or could you explain that bit again? Most people are happy to help.
That's good advice. It can feel awkward to interrupt, but it's better than just nodding along confused.
Definitely. Also, get familiar with contractions, gotta, wanna, all those.
And reduced forms.
Yeah, native speakers use them constantly. Recognizing them makes a huge difference to your listening.
So really tuning your ear into that relaxed, everyday rhythm.
That's the goal. And immerse yourself. Movies, TV, podcasts.
Like this one.
Yes. Music, talking to people if you can. The more you hear real English, the better you'll get.
Focus on the main idea, maybe. Not every single word.
That helps too. Don't get bogged down. And just be patient. It takes time. Keep practicing.
Patience and persistence, always key. Okay, wow, we have covered a lot today.
We really have. From gossiping language, describing weirdness, those S words.
Yeah, bad feeling, creeped me out, scared the heck out of me. Plus, tips for understanding native speakers better.
We looked at weird and housewarming gift, those useful gossip phrases, that creepy Mr. Henderson story.
Phew. And now, we really want to turn it over to you.
Yes. Our sources talked about how important listener engagement is.
So we want you to share your own experiences.
That's right. Find the comment section wherever you're listening.
And tell us. Got any weird neighbor stories? Any juicy gossip you've overheard or been part of?
It's such a great way to practice the kind of language we've been talking about today.
Absolutely. Don't be shy. Share your stories. It helps everyone learn, builds a community.
And who knows, maybe we'll talk about some of your stories in a future deep dive.
We'd love that. We're really looking forward to reading what you share.
Definitely. The weird and wonderful things you've encountered.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into real-life English conversations.
We really hope you found it useful, maybe even a bit fun.
Keep practicing those phrases. Keep listening. Keep being curious.
And we'll catch you next time for another deep dive into the fascinating world of language.
Thanks for listening. And if you found the video helpful, please hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you never miss an episode and share it with others who might benefit. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, we'd love to hear from you. So your feedback is really important to us. And if you want to continue learning right now, here in this playlist, you'll find helpful videos for English listening practice. You might want to watch it next. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.